What's going on, makers? How are we all doing today? It is I, Roman, your favorite youth program director at the MCL, broadcasting live from my living room. That is correct. Since it seems like we're still going to be stuck in quarantine for quite some time, we at the MCL decided it would be fun if we tried to do some virtual programming that we could then broadcast out through our various networks, give everyone something to do while they're stuck at home and get those creative juices flowing, get those maker skills going. Projects can be really helpful during a time like this. As we always kind of stress in makers, we're really interested in things that are process oriented. And that's, of course, because we don't just think that it's fun to have something that you made, but to actually kind of sink into the process of making something. And all of these videos, they're all going to be pretty short, not like our standard 2 hour long Maker Lab where we can kind of like hang out. Unfortunately, that is being limited right now, obviously. Basically, I'm just going to pick a different kind of series of materials that most folks will have around at their house every week and show you some different things you can do with them. So for today, we're starting off with one of my favorite mediums to work in, and that is tape. Yes, just regular old masking tape. So for today, all you will need is some masking tape, some scissors. I got these cool little scissors from like an emergency sewing kit, and some markers if you want to decorate whatever it is that you make. So basically, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, how am I going to make anything out of tape, other than maybe a big old tape ball? But basically, this what we're going to do today is called Tapigami, and it's an art form that was invented by the artist Danny Scheibel very recently, within the last 20 years, and he's based out of Sacramento. Basically, Daniel is a sculpture artist, and he's always been really drawn to the idea of tape since it's a medium that is so accessible. It's not like you need to spend tons of money to get yourself some masking tape. And it's actually also something that's very, it's durable, it's a good material to work with, and it's very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it. So I'm going to show you guys the basics, how to make your basic building blocks for Tapigami, and then I'll show you some different projects you can do. And then I encourage everybody over the course of the next week to send back any projects that they end up making. You can post them in the Makers Facebook event page. You can email them to me. My email is around on the webs, so you can find it, and we can post it on your behalf. Let's get started. All right. So we got our roll of tape, right? It's important that we have our sticky side facing away from us, because what we're essentially going to be doing is making little tubes that almost will function kind of like sticky tape Lincoln logs or something like that, if you want to think about it like that. But we'll basically just be making these units that we can then use to build things with. So we take our tape, we have our sticky side facing out, and we're going to go from the top left corner here. We're going to roll down at a 45-degree angle. I can do it from this way if this might be a better angle to see what I'm talking about. So we're going to roll down. Sorry. Still kind of an amateur this whole video thing, guys. All right. And at our 45-degree angle, we just want to start rolling some tubes. Just like so. And I'll make a couple so I can show you some different things that you can do with them. And I guess they just kind of remind me of Lincoln logs, partially because of the shape, but also just because of the ways in which you can use them. And if you're having trouble at first with the rolling technique, it can be a little weird. I think it helps to kind of press down a little bit your top corner here, and maybe even just try to get that going first. And then remember, you kind of want to keep it at that 45-degree angle, just because it'll roll more smoothly along the course of the tape. So do this. How about I'll make two more, and then we can see what we can do with a couple little things. All right. Can be a fun, mindless task. Perhaps if you're a master builder, maybe you want to put a younger sibling on rolling all the tubes for you, and then you can kind of, do all the fun stuff with them once you have them assembled. However you play it, totally your decision. All right. One more here. All right. Now, Now we have a couple tubes, right? And okay, so one way you can kind of go about making things in the field of tapigami is to keep them sort of rolled up like this. We take our scissors, we can very simply start to sort of here, cut another one too. All right, we can make a little tube man, fun little tube action figure guy. So get some legs going. Fold them down here. All right. And all of a sudden you have a fun new tube guy that you can kind of make some plays with. Maybe you got an iPad at home. You can do some stop motion animation. These would be great for that. But also you can take your tubes and sort of flatten them out. And then at this point, you can make a bunch of different things. I highly recommend you going on YouTube, and you can either just search Tapigami or Danny Scheibel. And a lot of the different, he makes like these giant cities and various like big installation art pieces. They're usually on display at the Exploratorium. I think he has kind of like a recurring exhibit there in the Bay Area in San Francisco. But I know that a lot of his pieces move around. But one thing he really likes to do is sort of take, you sort of, once you have, so you go from having your tube a little bit more, cylindrical there, then you can flatten it out. See how that's much more, yeah, right? And then you can actually start to build sort of wider, flatter surfaces by sort of just folding these in on each other, and that can be a fun technique to kind of mess around with. See how big you can make stuff. Some of you guys might remember I actually have a big kind of tape container I made in the makerspace, my secret candy stash. So next time you're in the makerspace, be on the lookout for that. If you find it, give me some candy or whatever other, stickers, tattoos, something else might be in there. Just like, a fun random, prize container. It's always good to have around. So yeah, then you can start to kind of form around, make some things, make a little, this is just a little box here. I'll show you guys. Cool. All right. And so this is why, another reason why it's so important to make sure that we have our sticky side out. You'll notice, so now we have a little box here, right? And it's sticking to my fingers right now. Ooh, not that well. See, sticky side out. And that way it helps all of the different pieces that you make, all of the different tubes, whether you flatten them out or keep them cylindrical, they'll be able to stick to each other. So super important, very nice to have. All right, so a couple projects that I made beforehand, you can do a nice little pan flute for yourself, all made out of tape, It might not sound that good to you, but it sounds great over here, so something fun you can do. Perhaps you're participating with Nora tonight and you need a Harry Potter wand for the read along, casting some spells, keeping it real. And lastly, I made this pretty awesome boat using the technique that we just did right there. I flattened out, you'll notice this is kind of just like a bigger version of this little box here. It just took a little bit more time. And it doesn't really matter how long you make your tubes to be able to do something that's a little bit bigger, since you can basically just attach all of them, right? So I think whenever I'm making my tubes, I pretty much like to make them between like 7 and 10 inches. Yeah, and then you just kind of roll with it. And an interesting thing about the boat project is that if you make a boat, you will find, since the tape is less dense than water, your boat will actually sail. Can't keep, oh, I thought you could see it. Look, woo! That just happened. I did spill a little bit of water. All right, great. So I think we'll probably cut it off around there. I'm trying to keep these all at about 10 minutes each. Thank you for tuning in to this first Maker Wednesday with Roman tutorial here in the times of pandemic. We'll have something fun for you next week. Please send me over any of your Tapigami projects that you're really excited about. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Just a reminder that if anyone needs lunches right now, we are serving the Boys and Girls Club of the Northern Area Boys and Girls Club is serving lunches from Shaler Area School District every day. There's been volunteers from the library. I'm usually there helping out as well. And that's every day at the Boys and Girls Club at the basement entrance to Holy Spirit Church, right on North Avenue there in Millville from 11 to 1. So thanks again, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Looking forward to seeing you all when this is over. Take care.